Hi, welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing this particular video. Subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Like and share the video as well. Of course, hit the bell on top as well. Keep up to date with all videos as and when they're posted. After all, I'm here to talk wrestling with you, so please get involved, get interactive with me here on this particular channel. But right then, I'm going to give you a little bit of my, I suppose, creative twist here. I mean, how can we fix Fastlane? Seems like it seemed the most simplest of tasks, but what I'm going to do is, of course, all the results are as what they are. We have to accept the results of what they are. This is how I would have done things differently. So first and foremost, as the So Solid crew said, there's 21 seconds to go. Kevin Owens losing the belt in 21.3 seconds. I think I recorded this match out. This could have been dealt with a bit differently. I think that not necessarily the ingredients were wrong, but I think they were badly placed. I mean, Kevin Owens was walking outside the ring, for about 3 minutes before the match even begun. I would have included that into the match. I think it would have been. I think we would have had a build up here going into the event of that Goldberg destroyed Brock Lesnar twice. 1 minute 26 just threw him straight out of the Royal Rumble. What's to say he wouldn't do this to Kevin Owens as well? And Kevin Owens to more or less say at the beginning of the match, I don't have to beat you, I just have to be the champion going to WrestleMania. Now, of course, you would say, well, come on, he looks weak still here, like they made him look weak last night. But of course, it's more the intelligent side of Kevin Owens saying, well, hang on, why get my hands dirty? I'm the heel after all, I'm not giving you the fans what you want. You know, I don't need to do the job. Instead, try and go out the ring like he's saying as well, I will last longer than Brock. Make that kind of a thing as well because it's heel heat, and then as well call the referee the starters count. So he needs to be back in the ring before a 10 count, or it's a counter victory for Goldberg, and Owens continues in as the Universal Champion to WrestleMania. So we have to see the chase on if Goldberg can catch him or not. And we see that Owens will get away a few times from Goldberg's cross. He can't quite get a hold of him. Then maybe we could see maybe he's going to try and go up the ramp and say, well, look, you can't catch me if I'm going up the ramp. I'm going away. That's when maybe Jericho's music could have hit, could have come to the ring. We could have seen maybe Owens thrown back into the ring, or maybe just him run away from Chris Jericho. And of course, the safest place to be away from Jericho is to actually get into the ring. Maybe just loses his head rather than taking the beating, because of course then he still would have been at WrestleMania as the Universal Champion, but goes back into the ring and then suffers the beating from Goldberg, because we know Goldberg's conditioning is not set for a 10-15 minute match. Of course, we'd have loved to have seen a 10-15 minute count. That would have been the ideal scenario, and then we'd have seen maybe Goldberg win the belt legitimately. But that's not going to happen. So that is exactly how I would have done it instead. So I'm not saying all the ingredients are wrong that were put into the match, but I just think the way it was dealt with, it left a bit of taste in the mouths. And of course, deep down, we all wanted to see Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho being the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. But we've not got that. We have to accept it. So that's how I would have booked it in that circumstance if Goldberg was to have won the Universal Championship and having to do it in short time, with him having to use less fatigue, if you wish. Because you could see, as far as I'm concerned, when I look at it, Goldberg looks tired when he's even coming to the ring. That's how much really Goldberg should really be doing this, but he is drawing, so I guess that's why that is happening. Looking next then at Bayley and Charlotte, how I would have booked that particular match. Now, of course, Bayley is winning via heel tactics. The underdog that was fighting for everything to get where she got in NXT got the massive payoff. And now the cheat to victory shows that Charlotte loses her undefeated streak at WrestleMania. It just seemed really bad for me from the start. I would have had Stephanie even on the phone with Mick Foley suggesting Sasha Banks said she was going to be involved at ringside. I would have her banned from ringside, so she just wasn't there. We could have had a legitimate one-on-one match. Bayley could have proved it once and for all and would have won the match, and then that would have been clear going forward then. And of course, Charlotte then would look for revenge anyway at WrestleMania, because for whatever reason, this is why WWE have done it, so that Charlotte still has a legitimate gripe so that she can go on to WrestleMania. I understand the bigger picture, but it just for me didn't make sense. It would have made more sense for Charlotte to have won with it being cheating tactics again, and then we could have seen a clear one-on-one match as a payoff at WrestleMania. That would have been the best way to book it, but unfortunately that's not the plans WWE seem to have, so we have to forgive that, unfortunately. But looking on it really from my personal point of view, I do think that Bayley has been badly booked when it comes to being on the main roster. I think she should have been the underdog. She should have won the belt on WrestleMania, and it kind of really, it's destroying her credibility, her character. And as well, I mean, Sasha Banks, I mean, she's kind of talking kind of heelish when she was on Raw Talk last night, so it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to actually play out when we actually watch that on WWE TV. Is a heel turn going to come somewhere? I mean, Sasha Banks now will more or less say, well, look, I helped you win at WrestleMania, so surely I should be win at Fastlane, sorry, so surely I should get the match at WrestleMania, but I guess it's not going to be. It just seems a bit of a mess, that feud, that rivalry. The whole thing seems messy, and from the start it should have been booked better, and I don't believe that Charlotte should have lost the belt on Raw to begin with. I think we'd have avoided all of that. We wouldn't have had any of this mess for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and Bayley perhaps would have kept maybe some of her dignity, credibility intact, and maybe she wouldn't be winning with such heelish tactics. You only have to look back, like I said, to NXT, the ladders and the match she had to climb. She would lose and come back. She was the ultimate underdog, and the story worked. They should have done that once again on the main roster. Last but certainly not least, I'll look at Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. And for me, I quite believe that yes, Roman Reigns is going to win the match. We kind of all knew that going in. Strowman was built. I think it should have been a false finish. Personally, I said that on my predictions. Now, if they had to go on the route where Roman Reigns was going to win clear and that this feud was going to finish, then I mean, Fastlane for me had far too many gimmick matches. No gimmick matches. Sorry, had far too many individual matches. I'm still feeling the vodka. I think there wasn't enough gimmick matches, so why not have had the match that we had there on Raw? We get a lot of these matches before we get into pay-per-view these days, anyway. So we might as well have this one on Raw, had a false finish, and then we could have got to the pay-per-view. It could have been maybe a decisive steel cage match. This way, Braun Strowman would not have been pinned, and okay, maybe there might have been limitations with the cage, but we still could have seen him maybe jump off the top rope. I still think it would have been quite hard-hitting, a slobber knocker style match, and I think it would have been still a pretty good way to go. Of course, would it have made the match better with The Undertaker being involved? Yes, it would have done, but I think The Undertaker then would have gone in as the heel. I want Roman Reigns to be the heel going in at WrestleMania if there's going to be a heel, so which is why I'm kind of happy it was left to Monday Night Raw. I just think that if it would have been a steel cage match, I think that Roman Reigns could have escaped the cage, and this way Strowman is still not pinned, he still seems unbeatable. It's just that Roman Reigns won the match, but kind of really he ran away from Strowman, so that's how I would have gone down that route. But that's pretty much how I would have booked those 3 particular matches, and of course they were the biggest matches and the main messes on the pay-per-view. Of course there were filler matches added in the pay-per-view. It was like watching Monday Night Raw. I would have made some of the other matches on the card longer, particularly Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn. Why not add that up to another 20-minute mark, 22-minute mark? It would have been easy to do with these guys. Both are going to prove to be great company men when it comes to wrestling and long matches in the future in WWE. Should have given that opportunity and that platform to do it now, and Samoa Joe still would have looked very strong as the Destroyer, coming out as the victor. But that's me talking anyway. That's me bringing a little creative twist, if you wish, just to try and help the WWE Fastlane maybe how it should have gone. But let me know your things. What would you have done to book this particular card? Of course, if we could have changed the results, I would have done that as well. But if these results were the same, how would you book it? Let me know right now in the comments below. But thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I've got my Raw preview ready for you now, and make sure to check out on the channel. Hit the bell on top, and you've been watching SCW, the wrestling channel, here on YouTube.com. Take care.